Hi, beautiful souls. I hope you all are doing well. I am recording this pretty late, so I'm going to make it pretty short. If you're new here, welcome, and shout out to my OGs, those of you who have been here since day one. If anybody wants a one-on-one, definitely feel free to book that with me. Info is down below, okay, for a one-on-one session. Okay, so today's topic is jealousy and envy, the spirit of jealousy and envy. It is definitely one of the ugliest things I've ever seen and felt and experienced. And I think there's a very humanistic part of the journey where at some point you're going to encounter it. You may feel it within yourself. The one thing you don't want to do is be riddled completely with this spirit. You may find that at times it can jump from one person onto you if you're around somebody too much and they're constantly giving you this energy. Then all of a sudden you start wondering, well, why am I feeling envious? Okay. A lot of times I do feel like it does come from the mother. Now, I don't know for men, I can speak for women. I've seen in women that a lot of times the same envy that comes from their mom shows up in them. Very interesting. So it does come to a point where, as a woman on your journey, and I don't know what it's like for men, like I said, to heal the mother wound. Okay, heal that mother wound and really assess the envy you see within your own mom and make sure that you detach from that energy. It could be the same for men. I've encountered several envious men that are operating out of a very toxic female energy. And yeah, it's just really ugly. So let's get into it. Envy usually comes from people who know you the closest. They're oftentimes people who are very close to you, whether it's family, friends, coworkers, lovers even, and you're just like wondering, well, why is this person not genuinely happy for me? And it feels really icky. I personally have seen some of the ugliest forms of envy. I don't know if it can get more ugly than what I've encountered in my personal life with envy. And I'm convinced it's somebody possessed by a demon, an entity. Again, it's a spirit, right? It's a spirit that can like riddle people and consume the person. And I think that when somebody is completely consumed by this energy, it becomes very difficult for that person to genuinely feel happy for you even a little bit. It's confusing because when it comes from people close to you, they are fascinated by you. They obviously love you and care about you, but yet they can't seem to genuinely be happy for your wins, for your successes, to see you, quote unquote, doing better than them, shining for a moment. Everybody has a winning season. Nobody's life is just straight win, 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 win 24/7, right? So understanding that, I think, is key. Not comparing yourselves to others, I think, is key when it comes to this. I had someone tell me once, she was like, Vanessa, nobody's going to tell you like, oh, I'm so envious of you. Oh, I'm dealing with envy. And she was right. I don't think people go around telling people that. I don't think it's something that people admit, which I think makes it worse. I think it makes it worse that we live in a society where people don't admit to themselves what they're feeling. It's just, oh, I don't want this person to see this energy in me. Suppress, suppress, suppress. And then it just festers and keeps building this ball of toxicity and keeps hurting people around them that they quote unquote care and love, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all heard that, but yeah. Sometimes when it comes to deep envy and you wonder why this person is feeling so much envy towards you, it can oftentimes be due to past life, whether this was a past life enemy, whether this was someone who was extremely envious of you in a past life or highly competitive with you in a past life, or as simple as comparing you heavily in a past life. Maybe you guys were siblings in a past life, and a lot of the envy comes from low self-esteem. A lot of it comes from not feeling good enough about yourself, not accepting yourself for who you are, and feeling like you can shine in your own divine light, confidently knowing that it's okay if somebody else is shining brighter. Give them their time to shine. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if you see others doing better than you. I want to be around people that are doing better than me, maybe I could learn a thing or two. You know what I'm saying? It's not rational to feel like this weird complex of like, oh, I have to be the best. I have to be the prettiest. I have to be the smartest. I have to be the most talented. Like, no, that's not real. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the sooner you can, one, deal with the mother wound of envy and jealousy. I feel like men probably deal with this too. And it could come from the mom, I don't know, or if it's from the dad. Again, I've encountered men with the toxic feminine aspect, but I could see how in men, even if they're not dealing with the toxic feminine within themselves, how they could still harbor envy from their mom. There's a deep connection with the umbilical cord to the child, symbolically, energetically, spiritually, psychologically imprinting, right? In that sense. So it's first dealing with that. And then two, when you do see it arise in you, bring awareness to it. I did have a coach once tell me, she was like, whenever you see that energy in someone, it's, or even in you, it's a sign that you need to figure out what is it in you that is wanting to go after that is wanting to harbor that or harness that energy or have that in your life, which makes sense. So that's one way to look at it. But definitely bringing awareness, I think, is vital, because most people don't bring awareness. They don't want people to see it. It's obvious. It's extremely obvious when people are envious, because it's an energy. You can feel the energy, you see it. So dealing with it is key. Bringing that awareness and then doing the work around it, doing that shadow work, asking yourself, hey, where is this coming from? Why am I feeling this? Because it's never really about the person that you're envious of. It's about what's going on within you. Why are you at such a low that you can't love yourself enough to be okay around somebody else, quote unquote, doing better at that given point? See if there's anything else I wrote. The root is comparison. So that's another thing in doing your shadow work, is making sure you're being mindful to not compare yourself to others, because it's not rational. It's not rational to compare anybody's path to anyone else's. All of our journeys are so intricately, uniquely divine. All of us have a journey like an individual, unique snowflake. People are like unique snowflakes. And while you might find similarities in some, they're very different. How you were brought up, what you were exposed to, what your experiences were, all of these things shaped you. Your socioeconomic background, everything has shaped you into who you are. And so the fact that nobody has the same exact life, even siblings, right? Because we process things differently. We have different souls, we have different hearts, everything is different. It's not rational to compare. So really building your own confidence, trusting in, grounding yourself, knowing, hey, I'm secure in who I am, regardless of who's around me, regardless of what they bring to the table. Maybe I can learn something. There's no need to be threatened. And if you do feel threatened, then there's a need to be curious. Why am I feeling threatened? Why am I feeling triggered? Where is this coming from? Right? And the other thing too is making sure that you don't surround yourself with people like this. I feel like, because I've seen some of the craziest forms of envy personally, I choose to not be, I'm highly selective around people that I share my energy with. And I'm aware enough to know, like, everybody's not out to get me. However, the extent of what I've seen does leave room for caution and for me to be aware. And the second I do see that energy in someone, I'm out. Because 99.9% of the time, I'm going to be out. You'll never hear from me again. You'll never see me again. Numbers blocked. We're done. And it's not to say that, like, if there's that 1% or that 0.08 whatever percent person that's like really into doing shadow work, really into taking self accountability, and I see that in them, or they admit it, then yeah, I would keep them around, because I feel like at that point they're willing to do the work and be like, that's somebody who knows that feeling, that energy is not coming from the other person, that it's coming from within, and they're willing to do the work. but it's definitely something that I think is a disease. And I think it's global. You know, I meet people from different countries all the time, and they're like, yeah, in my country, it's such a big problem. People are so envious, like they don't want to see you doing good, crabs out of a barrel, except, you know, different cultures have different names for it. But it's not conducive to one's health or growth or evolutional process. And it's not good for you, like your health, your mental state of being, you know, your self love journey. It's the opposite. It's you not loving yourself. So yeah, that was the quick message, y'all. If anybody wants to book a session with me, info is down below. Thank you for watching, and peace and love. Bye.